I absolutely love that quote for so many reasons, and I want to add to the conversation. I think so much more awareness needs to happen towards people who are learning to help people who are in trauma, and that's where that quote is really appropriate. But I also think it's really important to help the people that are going through trauma, healing from trauma, to understand the point of that message on an even deeper, more personal level. Here's something that I tell my clients all the time. If the house was on fire, yes, you shouldn't judge yourself for your reaction, but also think about how you're going to be reacting. When the house is on fire, you are not sitting down and processing your emotions. You're not connected to them. You're not really feeling anything other than probably fear or panic. You're not sitting down having a cordial conversation with somebody about your plan of action. You're just screaming single word sentences like run. Because when you are in a traumatic situation, so much is going on in the brain. First of all, the areas of our brain that access things like language, communication, sometimes even reason and rationale, they go offline, as does your ability to really connect with emotions. Like there's a difference between being angry and then having a trauma response of fight. There's a difference between fear for your life and running from the house that's on fire and, anxiety. But here's where it gets tricky. Our brain can handle things like a house fire because there was a before, it happened, and there was an after, and there's like an incident we can point at. But what happens when you're raised in an environment that's emotionally unsafe? So you're living as if the house is on fire all the time. A lot of the clients that I work with are in current active PTSD, meaning they're living as if the house is still on fire. And they're judging themselves for not having a cordial conversation, not having access to their emotions, not being able to communicate the way they want to. But you would never judge yourself for those things in an actual emergency like that. So the goal is to help your brain realize that the fire is over. Now here's the most important part. When your brain finally realizes that you've escaped, you're safe, and that the threat is gone, it's going to respond the same way it would in an actual catastrophe like that. Think about people that evening after a catastrophe or the next day when things have settled. What happens? They might break down, start crying, screaming, have a panic attack. The floodgates open. So in trauma therapy, when you're healing and your brain realizes that the fire's out, you're going to have something similar happen. Nothing's gone wrong, you're not broken, and it's okay. It's the way your system was designed to process and re-regulate itself. So while others need to give permission for people to have a freak out during the fire, you need to give yourself permission to have a freak out after the fire. Just my 2 cents.